Alfred Hitchcock, what many have called the dark genius, made 53 superb films, but he never won an Oscar for Best Director. That never went down well with Alfred Hitchcock. But just think about it. Over the years, have you ever wondered why some of the great geniuses have never won an Oscar and how many people have been overlooked? Just think about this. The movie that's considered the best movie of all times, Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, didn't win an Oscar for Best Picture. I've written on this in the past. There's been a number of people overlooked over the years, but Alfred Hitchcock, when the lists are made of who the best directors of all time, Alfred Hitchcock rates as #1. Of course, the question is why. And as anybody who knows now, a lot of politics goes into picking who gets the awards. And in modern times, advertising, ad agencies get behind actors in studios, and it's become a popularity contest. So that's why you will see some great performances, great directors, and great writers overlooked. Just list the movies that Alfred Hitchcock made: Notorious, Suspicion, Spellbound, Vertigo, which with James Stewart and Kim Novak, which I consider the best movie ever made. Psycho, the first slasher film that was the progenitor of everything that followed, the Halloween movies or whatever. This man had a tremendous impact. The Birds, Marnie. He raised actors and actresses to legendary status. You can list them: Cary Grant, James Stewart, Tippi Hedren in The Birds. He had a way of projecting on screen his angst, his belief, and it greatly affected audiences of his time. Some film critics have likened Hitchcock to the Rembrandt of film. He did meticulous planning. He drew out his scenes, and everything was basically planned before the actors got there. He loved the pre-production stuff. When it came to the shooting, working with the actors was basically secondary because he had things so well planned. In fact, he routinely would say, when the great actors would walk up into the scenes with him, and he'd see them and go, "Oh, the actors are here, and now the fun is over." That was a classic thing that he did. So he understood what filmmaking was all about: planning, camera angles, scripts. And he wasn't like a lot of egomaniacs that make movies today. He didn't have to have his name on every screenplay. In fact, he very seldom had his name on the screenplays, but he greatly influenced the writers. The soundtracks to his films are amazing. So this is somebody that was passed over all of his life, and it did not set well with him. You can read it in his biographies, but he did not like the fact that he was continually overlooked, and he did not understand why. Finally, in 1968, he did receive sort of a lifetime achievement from the Academy Awards for most consistent production. Can you believe that? Most consistent production. The Academy was expecting a great speech. They finally recognized him. They knew Hitchcock was hilarious. He could be funny. If you ever saw his television show, Off the Hat, he was very, very funny. He walks slowly up through the audience to the microphone, reaches over, grabs his little Oscar and says, "Thank you," and sat down. Again, biographers read that as a basic contempt as he had for the Academy. So each year as the Academy Award approaches, and you see certain people jettisoned up and some people are promoted, what I suggest to people is see all the films, especially some of the independent films out there, some of these young directors coming up who are making great films who may never get recognized. And for some reason, though, as I said, people like Orson Welles, Hitchcock never got recognized. It's greatly unfortunate. What the Oscars should be about is art, not popularity. Unfortunately, most often it probably comes down to how well you're positioned as an actor or a director, what studio is behind you. But I always wonder when I go to foreign countries how people, especially like places like France where they see film as art. I'm not sure Americans see it that way, but film is art and it should be treated that way.